Gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked into the eyes of a woman and felt like something was missing, like there was a piece of her heart that could never fully be yours? In today's world, we celebrate freedom, choices, and independence. But behind the smiles, behind the pretty pictures on Instagram, lies a truth that very few men dare to confront. When a woman has been with many men, she may carry something invisible, not always physical, but emotional. It's the unspoken scars of broken attachments, repeated heartbreaks, and the fading ability to truly bond with one soul. This isn't about judging her. This is about understanding reality. Because as a man, especially one striving to be high value, grounded, and emotionally strong, you deserve to know the signs that tell you what lies beneath the surface. This video isn't about shame. It's about wisdom, about protecting your heart and your future. If you ignore these signs, you risk investing your energy, your resources, and your love into someone who may never be able to give back the depth you're seeking. So let's break it down. Here are 6 unmistakable signs that appear when a woman has slept with many men, and what they mean for you. One of the first and most powerful signs you'll notice in a woman who has slept with many men is her difficulty bonding deeply. And I want you to really sit with this, because it's not just about intimacy. It's about the soul to soul connection that relationships are built on. You see, science and psychology tell us that every time a woman becomes intimate with a man, her brain releases a bonding hormone called oxytocin. This is the same hormone that allows a mother to bond with her child after birth. It is powerful. It is natural. It is designed by God and biology to help her connect deeply with the man she gives herself to. But here's the painful reality. When this bonding process happens again and again with multiple partners, it begins to lose its strength. Her ability to attach fully, to trust fully, and to surrender fully to one man gets weaker. Think of it like tape. The first time you stick it on a surface, it holds tightly. But peel it off and stick it again, and again, the stickiness fades. Eventually, it doesn't hold at all. That's what happens in her heart. Now, you might meet her and she's beautiful, confident, and says all the right things. But deep down, you sense a wall. You feel like she's with you physically, but emotionally, she's distant. She might laugh with you, go on dates with you, even share her body with you. But when you look in her eyes, there's a part of her that you can't quite reach. That emptiness is not an accident. It's the result of too many broken bonds. And here's why it matters for you. A man thrives on loyalty, emotional safety, and trust. You don't just want a woman who is there in body. You want a woman whose soul has chosen you. If she struggles to bond deeply, you'll constantly feel like you're competing with shadows from her past. No matter how much love, money, or attention you give, you may never break through that wall. This doesn't mean she's a bad person. It means she's wounded. But as a high-value man, you must ask yourself, do I want to spend my life trying to heal wounds I didn't create, or do I want to build with a woman who can love me fully, here and now? Gentlemen, the second sign you will often notice in a woman who has been with many men is this: she begins to carry a jaded outlook on love. On the surface, she might appear confident, independent, and even playful when talking about relationships. But if you listen closely, you'll hear traces of cynicism in her words. She may say things like, "All men are the same," or "Love doesn't last forever. Enjoy it while it does." At first, you might brush it off as casual conversation, maybe even laugh along. But those statements are not random. They are reflections of her experiences. Every failed relationship, every betrayal, every man she gave her body and trust to but who didn't stay, has shaped how she now sees love. Here's the truth. The more a woman has given herself away without building something lasting, the more her heart learns to protect itself through skepticism. She stops believing in the purity of love. She stops believing in the fairy tale of one man, one woman, forever. Instead, she begins to believe that heartbreak is the rule and genuine love is the rare exception. Now, why does this matter for you as a man? Because a jaded heart cannot nurture love. Love is like a seed. It needs faith, hope, and emotional openness to grow. If she secretly believes that men can't be trusted or that every relationship is doomed, Then, no matter how good you are, she will subconsciously sabotage what you have. She will expect failure before you even begin. And let me tell you, brothers, when you are with a woman who no longer believes in love, you will feel it. You'll feel her pulling away when things get serious. You'll notice she struggles to trust your words. You'll sense that she's waiting for the moment you prove her right, that you are just like the others. This doesn't mean she doesn't want love. Deep down, she does. But her past has conditioned her to approach it with fear rather than faith. And here's the challenge as a man. You cannot fix a woman's broken belief in love. Only she can do that work. So ask yourself, do you want to spend your energy trying to convince her love is real? Or do you want a woman who already believes in love enough to give it fully to you? Gentlemen, let's talk about one of the most exhausting signs you'll encounter in a woman who has slept with many men, the emotional roller coaster. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean the sudden highs and lows, the unpredictable mood swings, the way she seems perfectly fine one moment and then completely distant or defensive the next. You're left asking yourself, what did I do wrong? Or where did this come from? But here's the reality: it often has nothing to do with you. It's the weight of her past experiences. Every time she has given herself to a man who didn't stay, her emotional foundation became less stable. It's like carrying pieces of unfinished stories inside her heart. And when those memories are triggered, even in small, subtle ways, she reacts. Sometimes with anger, sometimes with sadness, sometimes by shutting down. You see, a woman who has been with many men often develops unresolved emotional baggage. She might not talk about it openly, but it shows up in how she handles conflict. Maybe she overreacts to small disagreements. Maybe she accuses you of things you haven't done because someone else once did. Or maybe she seems numb, detached, like she's present but not really there. These roller coasters aren't random. They're echoes of her history. And here's why this matters for you. As a man, a relationship requires stability. You need peace in your home, not constant chaos. If you're building your life, your business, your dreams, you cannot afford to live in a storm of emotional unpredictability, because no matter how strong you are, being with someone who's always swinging from one extreme to another will drain you. But let me also say this with compassion: her roller coaster is not because she's evil or unworthy. It's because she's hurt. It's because she's still carrying the scars of too many broken bonds. She wants to love, but her past keeps interrupting. The question you must ask yourself is, do I want to spend my days trying to calm storms I didn't create? Or do I want to build with a woman who already carries peace inside her? Brothers, remember this: love should feel like growth, not like survival. If a woman's emotional world feels like a constant ride of ups and downs, it may be a sign that her history with many men has left her heart unsettled. And as a high-value man, peace is not a luxury. It's a necessity. One of the most painful signs you'll notice in a woman who has slept with many men is what I call comparison energy. And gentlemen, if you've ever felt it, you know how heavy it is. It shows up in small comments. Maybe she says, "My ex used to take me to places like this." Or she laughs and adds, "You sound just like this guy I used to date." Sometimes it's not even words. It's in the way she reacts. You do something kind, and instead of simply appreciating it, you see her pause as if she's measuring you against a memory. Here's the truth: the more men a woman has been with, the more reference points she carries. Every man leaves an imprint, whether she admits it or not. And when those imprints pile up, her mind begins to compare you. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because she's conditioned to measure her present through her past. But as a man, this comparison energy eats away at you, because deep down, you don't want to be compared. You want to be seen for who you are, not through the lens of 10 other men who came before you. You want her love to feel fresh, unfiltered, and personal, not recycled or weighed against ghosts of her past. This is dangerous because comparison kills intimacy. If you feel like you're constantly being measured, you'll never feel fully accepted. And when you don't feel accepted, you start to pull back emotionally. That distance grows and the relationship suffers. Now let me be clear: comparison energy doesn't always come from malice. Sometimes it's unconscious. She may not even realize she's doing it. but it reveals something powerful. A woman who has not fully let go of her past can never give her present man her full heart. And as a high-value man, you must protect your spirit. You must ask yourself, do I want to compete with the memories of men who no longer matter? Or do I want to be with a woman who sees me as her only standard? Because brothers, love thrives when it is rooted in presence. If she is still comparing, then she is not fully present. And a love that lives in the shadow of the past will never have the power to build a future. Gentlemen, one of the clearest signs you'll notice in a woman who has slept with many men is what I call shortened relationship patience. And this sign can be subtle at first, but if you pay attention, it reveals a very deep truth about her heart. Here's what happens instead of fighting for love. Instead of putting in the work when problems arise, she's quick to give up. The moment there's tension, the moment there's conflict, she checks out emotionally. Maybe she says, I don't need this, or I'm done. And you're left wondering, is the relationship really worth so little to her? The reality is this: when a woman has been with many men, she has already rehearsed the cycle of attachment and detachment too many times. Break up, move on, repeat. Over time, her heart becomes trained not to endure, but to escape. Conflict feels less like something to solve and more like a reason to leave. She doesn't lean into building. She leans into running. This is dangerous for you as a man because lasting love requires resilience. Every great relationship, even the strongest ones, will face challenges. And when those challenges come, you need a partner who's willing to fight beside you, not one who treats you as replaceable. If she has shortened relationship patience, she may not see you as her person. She may see you as just another chapter in a long story. Here's what you'll notice: she avoids difficult conversations. She withdraws instead of working things out. Or worse, she threatens to leave over small disagreements because detachment has become her safety mechanism. And brothers, let me tell you, when a woman has one foot out the door, you will never feel secure in that relationship. But I want you to understand this clearly. This isn't always intentional. It's not always cruelty. Sometimes it's simply conditioning. Her heart has been trained by her past to leave rather than to build. And while she may crave love, she struggles to commit to the long, often uncomfortable process that real love requires. So as a man, you must decide, do you want a partner who runs at the first storm or one who weathers it with you? Because true intimacy is not tested in good times. It's proven in the trials. And if she cannot stay steady when things get tough, then she's not ready for the kind of love you deserve. Gentlemen, perhaps the most heartbreaking sign you'll notice in a woman who has slept with many men is the loss of innocence and vulnerability. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. A woman's greatest strength in a relationship is not just her beauty, not just her charm, but her ability to be soft, to surrender her heart and trust, to love without fear, and to open herself fully to the man she chooses. That softness, that vulnerability, is what makes love so pure. It is what makes a man feel like her only one. But when a woman has given herself to many men over and over, and has been hurt or abandoned in return, that softness begins to fade. She learns to build walls. She learns to protect herself. And instead of offering innocence and vulnerability, she begins to offer guardedness and control. You'll notice it when she struggles to let you lead. You'll see it when she resists leaning on you.